is so fragile, and we're constantly reminded just how fragile life can be, especially when we or a loved one is told we have cancer. Cancer survivor myself, I can tell you, we still feel very alone in this journey.
There's a study that's been shown that patients who are socially isolated have a worse prognosis, have a worse outcome than patients who are socially interconnected.
Buddies for Life is a non-profit cancer support group for those whose life has been impacted by cancer. We'll match you with the perfect buddy. Humor, hope, heart, and hugs.
Humor, hope, heart, hugs, and a whole lot of love.
We're offering you a free membership, so please sign up today. Share this with your friends and family, and support this community in every way you can. No one should face cancer alone.
I am a chemo buddy for life.
We are a buddies network.
No one does cancer alone.
Be a buddy.
And we are all here for you as a community of love.
We are chemo buddies for life.
And if you've heard 3 words, you have cancer, for yourself or someone else, you belong with us at Chemo Buddies for Life.
Healing through connections.
It says you're in the show. Is that true? I hope y'all can see me now. Well, good morning, good morning, good morning. Well, if you don't know me, this is here of Mama Hot Towers. I'm gonna take off my mask. Is that okay? Now, can y'all see me now? Alrighty. Well, Barbara, I want to say thank you for introducing me. It says I'm in the show and everybody can hear me now. Okay. Well, I hope so. I see some Daisy. So, y'all, I'm here in Dunkin' Donuts, and today we're going to talk about paying it forward. That means when you're going to put some action to saying I love you. So we're gonna do something really interesting today. So this is Mama Hot Towers on location. So we're gonna pay some things forward. So if when it's the right time, I'm gonna I'm gonna be a blessing to the people that's up there in the front. But in the meantime, I want to talk to y'all about what it means to do something nice for folks. You know, a lot of the time we say, I love you, but we really don't take time to really put action to the love. Is that right? We really don't put a whole lot of time to put action to saying we love you. So we're gonna do that today. I'm gonna put some action to them words. So when was the last time you paid something forward? Now what I mean by that is this here. You know, like when you do something nice for somebody, here's a challenge for you. If you could do something nice for 3 people, not just one, not just two, but 3 people today, do something really nice for them. And then challenge them to do something nice for 3 more people. If you do something nice for 3 more people, then guess what? The world's going to be a kinder place. So let's do that challenge. Can you do that challenge? Well, what you mean, Mama High Towers? I don't care. It don't always have to take money. It could be helping somebody to walk across the street, old lady like me. Now, making sure they wants to walk across the street. You know what I'm saying? Maybe they just don't want to go across the street. Well, you can do something nice for them. Maybe it's helping them with their groceries or, just giving them something, doing something nice. That's so important these days because everybody needs something nice to be done because everybody just crazy because of what's going on in the world with this here pandemic. And, you got to put on your mask and all of that and you'll mess up your lipstick. That ain't good. That ain't good at all. So do something nice for peoples, make their day. Make their day. So let's see how this works. Let's see what happens, okay? All right, we're going to come with me. Let's see how this works. I got to get to my card out first, so can't do something nice in Dunkin' Donuts and not have the money. So hold on a second. When was the last time you actually did something nice for somebody? Now I ain't talking about just just actually doing something nice. So love is an action word. You could say, I love you. And you can say, I love you if you love me, or I love you if you love me. that ain't really love. Love puts action to it. So let's see what this gonna look like. This here, okay? This here. You can tell folk from the south when they say this here. Okay, come on with me. Come on. Let's see. Well, let's see what's gonna happen. Y'all pray for me now. We gonna see what's gonna happen to this here. Hold on. All right, here we go. Here we go. All right. Okay, I'm the only one up here, but there's gonna be some other people coming up. How you doing? Good. Okay, now my name is Mama High Towers, and we filming right now. And this is what I want to do. The person that come behind me, I want to pay for them. Okay, we're doing a series, and this series is called Pay It Forward. So I'm gonna put $10 right now on the person coming behind me. Okay, after 1 or 2 people coming behind me, so I want to get their reaction. So we're gonna pay it forward. That's what this here is called. All right, see if we can do that. See if we can do that. All right, right, y'all there in TV land, we're going to do this here, okay? See what's going to happen. This is called paying it forward. We're going to show love in action. That's just a beautiful thing. How many people actually come up here and do that here? Not too many. You ever get someone to come and do this here? No, not too many. In the meantime, I take me a sausage, egg, and cheese croissant. Okay? Okay. Now, there was a long line. Where the people's at now? They gonna miss their blessing. They gonna miss their blessing. Well, we gonna go ahead and wait for a couple more folks. They'll be here in a moment. They'll be here in a moment, y'all. They'll be here in a moment. Yeah, yeah. Well, let's see here. Well, we just gonna talk to this little here gentleman right here. You want to be on camera? He wants to be on camera to say hi to the people. He said no, he don't want to be on camera, y'all. Okay, that's okay. You don't have to be on camera. But we gonna we gonna do this here, okay? It's just a beautiful thing to be a blessing. Now, all them folks we don't miss, but there gonna be some more folks coming in here. Yeah, so that's what we gonna do today. We gonna pay it forward and be a blessing. Be a blessing, okay? All right. So in the meantime, in between time, here's a question for you. So in your day today, know that God loves you. And I want you to look at your blessings because you don't know when they coming and where they coming from. So instead of just talking negative, begin to talk light and positive. Uh-oh, here comes somebody right now. Okay, we gonna do it.
Sir, what is it for you? Your coffee? You got any coffee?
Yeah, can I get an extra large, extra cream with caramel? And then I need an extra large with cream, extra cream and sugar, and a sausage, egg, and cheese croissant.
All right, here we go. Here we go. Here we go, y'all. It's gonna be so fun.
Sounds like the cheese croissant, right?
It's gonna be so fun.
It'll be 16, okay? You just pay for the whole order.
You're so welcome. You're welcome. So my name is Mama Hot Towers, and we're paying it forward. We're being a blessing to somebody today. So I'm gonna ask you to pay it forward to be a blessing to somebody else. That's how it works.
Thank you.
You're so welcome. Now, how did that make you feel?
Real good.
Can you tell the people's on the TV land? How did it make you feel? Where we go? It feel good?
Yes, ma'am.
Good.
Thank
so
you.
You gonna pay it forward?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, now God is watching. I trust. I believe you now. All right. Is it okay if I'm gonna put this? Actually, this is live on StreamYard, and they done seen you, and they gonna witness to it. Okay. All right. God bless you. Now, how was that? That was good, wasn't it? Hi. Good morning. Why people look at me all funny like? Is it because they don't like my glasses? Is that what it is? Yes, sir. Yeah. Yes, so that was fun. That was a lot of fun. Yeah. How you doing, man? God bless you. God bless you. God bless you. You know, when I come to an establishment like this, folks look at me up and down really funny. It must be the glasses. Oh, all right, this is which one is that now? Which one is this one? Two different. I'll pay for this gentleman right here. So it's two different ones. I've got a sausage, cheese, and croissant. And gentlemen, what you get? The same thing? Oh, okay, we got the same thing. No, I bought one for me and one for him. Separate bags. y'all. You're so welcome. This is mine. Thank you so much. All right. God bless you. You too. All right, there we go. There we go. Excuse me. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. We're going to come back over here and talk, okay? So what you think about that? All right. Now, let me tell y'all something else. Can I tell y'all something else? Let's talk about when you do something nice for somebody, you don't necessarily need them to come and do something nice for you. Isn't that right? Oh my, oh, this coming down. Oh my goodness. Oh my stuff coming down. Oh Lord have mercy. Lord have mercy. Lord have mercy. My hair do coming down. Okay, so when you do something nice for somebody, don't have to look for them to do something nice back. You look for God to do something nice back. He gonna bless your efforts, and he gonna bless your efforts in ways you don't even know. I mean, he gonna absolutely blow your mind when you do it in the right heart. So when you be a blessing, it's because you love the people and you love God. It's not because you want something back, but God gonna bless his word anyway. You know what I'm saying? He gonna bless his word anyway. So when you do something nice, do it consistently. When you do something nice, guess what? It's kind of like having a love bank in heaven. It's like having a love bank in glory when you can do something nice for folk. Because then it's like ching in your love bank account in glory. You keep doing something nice, and then it's ching ching in the love bank in glory. And then when it comes to the time when you really need some help, guess what? The angels in glory, all the angels, they gonna be like, Lord, let's go to her and help her. Let's help her. Because all the people she don't help, let's go to her aid and help her. So as you help the peoples with the right heart, watch what God gonna do for you. Because I'm telling you, you want to forgive the peoples that hurt you. You want to help the people that need help. You want to even be a blessing to people just because you want to be a blessing. And I'm telling you, it's going to make a whole world of difference. It really will. It really will. It's going to make a whole world of difference. Watch. Instead of complaining about stuff, you start saying, Lord, I thank you. I thank you, Lord, for working things out for me. And he going to do it for you. It may not happen right when you want it, but it's going to happen. It's going to happen. Oh, my goodness, it's going to happen. So I just want you to realize and understand how much God loves you and how much he needs you. Because don't you know there's a whole lot of hurting people in the world. A whole lot here at Dunkin' Donuts and in your part of the town. There's a lots of hurting folk. And if you would just reach 3 people and ask them to reach 3 people, I tell you, that thing will start to spread. Yeah, it will. It will. So be a blessing wherever you can. Instead of talking about peoples, be a blessing to them. And the folks that hurt you, baby, forgive them. Forgive them. Because they don't realize who they messing with. Right? So make sure you understand the words of your mouth. Speak life. Speak purpose in somebody's life. Begin to speak purpose in your life. And know that things are going to turn around. Your finances going to turn around. Your money going to turn around. It really will as you put the action to it. And as you do what you're supposed to do. And be a blessing. Pay it forward. And watch God work in your life. All right? All right. Well, this is Mama Hot Tower from Dunkin' Donuts. We signing off. You have a blessed day. And remember, pay it forward. See you later. All right, Barbara. That's all I got today. See you next month. with Mama Hightower on location and paying it forward. We gonna see what we gonna do next time. Bye. Okay. Well,
Haiti borders with the Dominican.
Her name is Serena Buffalino. They call her Mrs. B, and her class always begins with a pledge.
Something local, something global. Haiti.
They're words that carry weight here. Helping yourself means helping others, giving back, here and a world away in Haiti.
And nobody's helping them, except for people like us.
It was through her the class learned of Haiti, of the nearly 1 million orphans, many with no school, no support, no Mrs. B in their lives.
They could not wrap their head around that.
Mrs. B's students are among Toronto's most at risk. Their challenges vary from emotional and behavioral difficulties to learning disabilities. Their trauma so severe they can't function in a regular school setting, and we aren't allowed to show most of their classmates.
For most of the kids, most of society has turned them away. And in this classroom, they're accepted. They're accepted no matter what for who they are.
Take Yolanda. She came here last year so burdened and withdrawn, she would often fall silent, sometimes for days on end. It was, she says, Mrs. B's patience, her quiet encouragement, that saved her.
She actually saves people's lives from dangers.
And perhaps that's why these marginalized kids feel such a kinship with the orphans of Haiti and why they were moved to act.
And so when Yolanda and Jackie and Patrick said, well, Miss B, we need to build them a school.
Build a school, no easy task. They started out raising money. They sold samosas, washed cars, screened movies, you name it. And in just a few months, this little class raised $20,000. So much, it's not just a one-room schoolhouse they can build, but a full 3-story school. And so Mrs. B set off on a journey she'd dreamed of, up into the dusty mountains above Port-au-Prince to a town called Canaan. It's home to thousands of earthquake refugees who live with no running water, no electricity, and no school, until now. The first step was a temporary school. It's up and running. 53 students already in uniform. The permanent school for 250 is growing from its foundations.
It makes me want to cry because she just makes me feel so awed, and I'm very proud of her.
All of this because of a handful of students back in Canada and Mrs. B, the teacher who believed in them.
These are for you.
At another fundraiser, a special tribute to the students, accepted by someone who, without Mrs. B, might not be here.
They believe in me and I believe in them, and together we not only change our lives, but we change the world around us.
For inspiring great things and seeing the potential in everyone, Serena Buffalino is this week's Everyday Hero.
This is the reason why I do what I do, is because of Yolanda and all the...
Life is so fragile. and we're constantly reminded just how fragile life can be, especially when we or a loved one is told we have cancer. Cancer survivor myself, I can tell you, we still feel very alone in this journey.
There's a study that's been shown that patients who are socially isolated have a worse prognosis, have a worse outcome than patients who are socially interconnected.
Buddies for Life is a non-profit cancer support group for those whose life has been impacted by cancer. We'll match you with the perfect buddy. Humor, hope, heart, and hugs.
Humor, hope, heart, hugs, and a whole lot of love.
We're offering you a free membership, so please sign up today. Share this with your friends and family, and support this community in every way you can. No one should face cancer alone.
I am a chemo buddy for life.
We are a Buddies Network.
No one does cancer alone.
Be a buddy.
And we are all here for you as a community of love.
We are chemo buddies for life.
And if you've heard 3 words, you have cancer, for yourself or someone else, you belong with us at Chemo Buddies for Life.
Healing through connections.
Good morning. Good morning. Hopefully everybody hears me. We had a little bit of technology issues earlier, which that's life. But let me make sure that you can hear me okay. Let me just get that. Yes, it looks like I'm on there. And I'm good to go. Okay. When I see the green thing saying do, 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 that means that you can hear me and I can hear myself. So welcome Friday. It is Friday, September 3rd, a weekend that everybody's probably looking for, and that's Labor Day weekend, which a lot of people are off on Monday, including myself, which I'm like, yay. Love it, love it, love it. But before we even get into that, this is, we come Monday through Fridays, this show, Diamond Factor Experience with Barbara Beckley, and wonderful guests and experts. And I always add the wonderful special guests and experts to that because this would not be a show unless I didn't have my special guests on here and experts during the week. It takes a team. I tell people all the time, over and over and over again, it takes a team to build your empire. Remember that. And while you're building, they're building theirs too, and we're all helping each other grow. I always tell people that come on the show, and I always tell the experts that come on every week on the show, their days, is I'm here for you. It's not just you being here for me, but I'm here for you. If I need to sit there and help you promo your, whatever you're doing, if it's, if you're coaching, if you have an event coming up, whatever it is, if you have a book promoting, whatever it is, I am your cheerleader. I call myself your cheerleader to make sure that you get that visibility. People understand who you are and they get to know you. And that's my whole big mission. And that's one of the reasons why I started producing this show, way back in October of last year. And I say, way back when, because we're going to be coming up next month 1 year anniversary, the Diamond Factor Experience Show has been on, and I am just like, wow. When I started the first month, it was kind of, I'm just going to be, I'm vulnerable and I'm open. I was testing it out. I was testing the waters to see maybe will this work? Will people even want to see who I am or see the people that I bring on? Would it be interesting? Would it be value to people? And that's the biggest thing I always say. I want to make sure I give value. When the people I bring in, I want to make sure they're giving value. And, the first, it was a little bit, I was just doing 3 days out the week. And I was putting things together, hoping that, that hope syndrome, like, hope they see me, hope they turn on. And then that first month's numbers came in. 16,000 viewers the first month. And I really was just coming on, just being me and having people be them when they came on. I was like, what? I said, where these people come? Where they coming? Where they at? I can't believe it. I was so happy. And not so small to say, oh, Barbara has a show that's for 16,000. That wasn't it. It was, oh, Barbara has people coming to the show so she can see the people she brings on to help them and lift them up. See, I'm that middleman. And when that happened, I just said, okay, it's time. We got to take it off. We got to get it better. So I started looking for authors, speakers, everybody that I can interview, anybody that wanted a platform to come on so they can get their visibility intact. So, a lot of times I get to tell this because a lot of times people ask me, well, what's your show about? And what is it, what's your mission and all that kind of stuff? And I know sometimes to come on and tell you the story of that. So I want to make sure that people know that this is about awareness. It's about educating and it's about motivating. Those are the 3 main aspects I like about the show. But the biggest thing is to make sure I get the visibility for the people that need it. And some people, they're in different lanes. They're in different levels of their journey of their business or their personal life, but it doesn't matter. I don't care if they're way up there, celebrity. We had a celebrity on yesterday, Matthew. And then we have people that just starting off. We had a lady last week. She just started her business. And this was a really good segue for her so people can get to know her. So it doesn't matter the levels. It just matters if they just want to be on the show, share, what they have, share their value, share their stories. And, they have, and you can see the heart and everything that comes out of them. So maybe you want to work with them or you want to, get with them. So enough of me because we have another special queen. Now, I always call the lady Queen Diamonds. Always. The ladies are queens, period. No, no back and forth. We're not going to sit there and say, well, why are you calling queens? But there's no discussion in that. Queen Diamonds, that's what they are. So we have another wonderful Queen Diamond royalty in the house that I am so excited to interview. I just met her through, we're all together in this wonderful conference that's coming up called the Comeback Champ conference that's coming up in October. And I need to make sure I get the right dates. That's one thing that I need to do, put a check memo in my head. But it's coming in October and it's going to be full of speakers. You're talking about speakers from all around, all globally, high, from the high level to the, mid-level to like me. And I'm going to be part of it. Wendy, who's coming on in a minute, she's part of it. There's a lot of other, speakers, men and women. And we're just coming together just to, give the goods, just to give the value, just people so we can uplift them and make them understand that no matter what happens in your life, you can always come back. You can always come back. And that's Shay Brown. He is the brainchild of this. And just look him up and you'll fall in love. Just look him up and you will fall in love. This is going to be my 3rd time being part of the Comeback Champion Conference. And I told him, I said, you're going to have to just kind of find a way to tell somebody, okay, block Barbara because she just wants to be in this conference all the time. And when you find people, and this is a good thing, when you find people in your orbit that has that same mindset and, that same positive energy, you want to be around them. Just like Wendy's coming on, she has that positive, that same mindset. You want to be around these people because that's going to get you to that next level in life. All those downers and people saying, well, you can't do this. You don't need that. You have enough of that in your head. See, I could be my own downer You know, we all can be our own downer. We don't need extra. We don't need extra people. So we want to be around people like Wendy and Shay Brown and others. So we're going to talk a little bit about that too. But before I bring on this queen, I got to do it right. She is a nurse practitioner, and she's a strategist for nurses in the health care. Now, mind you, this is just a title. She's much more than that. She's basically a movement of her own. Just to let you know, she's a force to be reckoned with. And she's also, with all that, she's an author. She's a international speaker. She's empowers and impact. I love that. Empower, impact. You see where I'm going with this? You're just gonna be like, oh my God, I'm in awe. And I was in awe too. And on top of all that, what she does in her life, she's a part of this conference that's coming up in October. I mean, I've been watching her. And I was like, oh, she's my new mentor. I always learn from so many people. And like I said, when you find the people that are just moving and grooving in their lives and don't let no excuses stop them, be with those individuals. They're going to remind you of what you need to be doing. So with that, now I can't just bring on this, throw her on the screen and say, hey, Wendy. No. She's royalty. So we're going to do this right. We'll be bringing her up right after this little intro for her. Here we go. Lady in the house. The queen is in the house. Mrs.
Hi, Barbara.
Hi. How are you doing today? It's a Friday and a wonderful day because we have you on the show.
Yes, I am doing wonderful. Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to be here with you today.
I am too. And I'm so glad that you cleared out your little busy schedule, because I know you just that woman running and doing things. And I know we had last week, and then you had to reschedule. I said, long as she reschedules, I don't mind. Now, if you would have said, well, Barbara, no, I'm not even coming, like, okay, now we got to talk. We got a little talk. But when you said, Barbara, I just need to reschedule, I was like, hey, the platform is here for you, lady. And, when you come, it's going to be awesome. So I just want to thank you. This is my selfish moment right now. I want to thank you for coming on my show to shine like a diamond, as I tell, especially for the women that are in the world, and just being who you are, and an impactor and a motivator. So thank you for doing that. Thank you for doing that.
Thank you.
Now, before we get started, because this is just a conversation, some people be like, oh, I'm being interviewed. And I'm like, those to me sound stuffy. When I hear interview, it sounds stuffy. So I just having a casual conversation. And through that conversation, we get to meet and enjoy who you are. Yeah. So first of all, just tell a little bit like where you're from and, what you've been doing right now. Then we'll dig a little bit deeper, because I like to get the backstories of people.
Yes, so my name is Wendy Garba-Mayo. I'm a nurse practitioner. I'm a stress solution strategist. I currently reside in Hartford, Connecticut, but I am from Boston, Beantown. That's where I was born and raised. But I've been in Connecticut for over 20 years now.
Wow. That's a long time.
Yes.
I've been in Connecticut. Now, Connecticut is close to like New York, right? Because I know a long time ago, I'm going back with my age. And I'm going back to the point where I took a trip, which I don't even know why, because maybe I was in my 20s, I was crazy, on a Greyhound from Illinois to New York, and then had to get off that and go to Connecticut because I was visiting a cousin at that time. And you're talking about every stop in the land to get just to New York. And then on top of that, I had to go a little bit ways just to get to Connecticut. But when I did get to Connecticut, finally when I got there, it was a really nice, I would say that was one of the places that I would say I would visit again. It was really nice to be there. And you've been there for 20 years. Wow.
Yes, it's a nice place to raise your family. I'm from Boston, which is the city. So it's not as fast as Boston, and it's definitely not as fast as New York. So I'm in between Boston and New York, so I'm in the perfect location.
Yes, because like you just said, New York, that's you're talking about busy land. Yes, New York will you get caught, because I was there too for a while, and I was like, oh my god. And then, that was my first, when it's your first time. Now I lived in Chicago, so I kind of said, okay, well, Chicago, New York. Yeah, it's not as the same as I thought it would be. It's not. And one thing about New York, it seemed like they live all day and all night. I mean, they had traffic at 3 o'clock in the morning. I was like, what is going on? But they did, and it's just lively. They have, all the, everything going on all the time. So I was like, okay, I wasn't ready for that part, but it was an experience. It was an experience, that I have to say, for that. So yeah. So now, have you been to New York a lot, or since you're kind of, in that area?
Yes, I do go to New York, and I have to tell you that Times Square is one of my favorite places to be at night with all the lights. It's just something about being in that environment that just revitalizes you. I love it. I love going to Times Square. Even though I've been there many times, every time I go, it's like the first time. So, yes.
Now, one thing, I agree with you wholeheartedly on that. Yeah, when I did go, because I went on business, so I had to be there for 2 weeks. And the last 3 days before I had to go back home, I was able to sightsee, and people took me that lived there around, and they took me to Times Square. And I was like a little kid, like when I was looking around, like, you could tell I was a tourist. They were like, she's not from here. She's not from here. But yeah, that you're right. I mean, out of everything, I was like, wow, really wow. And then looking at all the, because I know that's basically a home where, if you want to become this actress and, actor or whatever, you need to go to New York. And I see why. I mean, just the lights alone just gets you like, okay, I got to do this if that's your, lane. So wonderful, wonderful. So now, Wendy, I wanted, just because I know you mentioned about, being the practitioner, and then I know you do a lot with that. In fact, I think you have your own company too that I wanted to mention, the Stress Blueprint. And but before we get into that, what made you? Because let's go way back, because we just didn't just come out and say, hey, we're this wonderful person, we're doing a movement and all that. It started somewhere. So I just want to get your story, your backstory about that. What made you just say, I want to do what I'm doing now?
Yes. So thank you so much for asking that question. So I have to tell you that I never thought I would be where I am today. So last year, in March specifically, during the pandemic, I was struggling with stress myself. I was a new mom, new wife, and I was actually going back to the hospital during the global pandemic. So I was stressed about that decision because I was feeling pulled. Nobody wanted me to go back because, I have my new son. But in my heart, I knew I had to get back to the hospital. So I was dealing with a lot. And then once I made that decision to go back to the hospital and overcome that stress, Barbara, so many things opened up in my life. I'm doing things that I never even thought I would be doing. But what I call that is alignment. So overcoming that made me want to give back. And I originally started with helping cancer caregivers, and I still have Shape Partners, which is my other endeavor where I support cancer caregivers through their journey in terms of managing stress and burnout. And while I was doing that, Barbara, nurses, my colleagues, started coming and listening to me on Wednesdays with Wendy, where I was, reaching my cancer caregivers, and they said, we need something. So that's when I started the Nurse Wellness Mentorship for nurses. So helping nurses manage their stress so they can, show up in the world the way they want to be seen. So that's where it all started from.
Wow, that's amazing. See, I always tell people that you can create something in the midst of a storm. And, as we all know, with the whole pandemic and everything, it hit all of us basically. But a lot of people just like you and a few others and myself, we looked at it as, okay, this is sad, this is horrible, but we're going to turn into something that maybe we can help others and get through. And you did that. You did that for what you created. And to me, that's just a birthing of a wonderful, just a wonderful baby. I always call it, I call it little things like frogs. We do little babies that we nurture and we let grow. And you've done that. And you know, you would have never, sometimes you don't, things don't happen or create unless other things happen, which like I said, with, you know, the storms of life. So you did that. Now with the healthcare, now have you always been in the healthcare arena, or did you just want to be that when you were growing up, or how did that come along?
Yes, I've been a nurse for over 17 years. I've been in healthcare for over 20 years now. When I was younger, I always knew I wanted to be a nurse. That was my motivation to get me through high school and definitely through college, because undergraduate nursing school was the hardest 4 years of my life. And then working in the field of nursing, I found my sweet spot, which is oncology. So I'm very passionate about cancer patients, cancer caregivers. And that drove me to go back to get my graduate degree and be a nurse practitioner.
Wow.
So yes, I've always wanted to be a nurse, and I love nursing. I think it's one of the best professions on this planet.
We need more nurses. We need to multiply you because we need a lot more nurses to, you know, be there to care and to understand, because, you know, I mean, you have the doctors, I get it, but I feel like the nurses are even above that, because they're the ones that have to deal with the patient all the time, make sure things are going right, make sure their stress levels okay. You know, just like you were going in through the pandemic, you were still going in and had a child. So I have to commend you. I always commend, especially all the people that's been out there, you know, fighting the fight in the healthcare arena while this was going on, because this was huge, because you never know what's going to happen, especially we didn't have the vaccine at that time too. So you're taking chances.
Yes, and you mentioned something very important. We need more nurses. So there is a nursing shortage globally. And with this pandemic, it has widened that gap, right? Nurses are stressed, they're burned out. They need assistance. So they definitely need support on how, one, we are going to retain the nurses we have in the field, and two, how are we going to get more nurses in the field, you know, from higher education into the field. Our population's aging, so that's a problem. Nurses are leaving the bedside, right, because of this pandemic, stress, burnout. So we have a serious problem. I call it a stress crisis. That's what I call it. Because this pandemic has definitely amplified stress and burnout in our profession, because it was already a problem before the pandemic that no one was really talking about. But now that we're in the middle of a global pandemic, it's visible now. But now it's amplified. It's up here, right? Because it's in the media, but what are we doing about it? And that's another driving force that, you know, motivates me to do what I do.
Yeah, and that's why I commend you, because it's so much needed. Where like a lot of us, you know, that's not in the field, media is going to be media, and I always tell people, really be careful on what you listen to, what you're looking at, because there's some things that are just way out there that probably might not even be true, and then there's things that you really need to hone in that is true that you're not paying attention to. So with you or what you're doing, I would have known. I mean, I knew a little bit about the shortage. But, you know, like you said, even before the pandemic, things were going in that route of needing, you know, that's a need, and how you created something so you can get the awareness out there, and then also look around and see, okay, who is interested in coming in? So we need this help, and it's really needed now. And what you're doing, what I love, is even in the crisis of the cancer portion of it, I'm basically, I've been in remission for 12 years now. And I know when I first, yes, I was like, yay. But when I first, you know, heard the word and went through what I went through, I didn't have anybody really. I mean, I had my husband, he didn't understand. So he usually people are going to either come and be loving, or if they don't understand, they start to go in avoidance. And he went into the avoidance. And I'm not bashing him, because some family members are the same thing, because they really didn't understand what to do with a person that had cancer. But the nurses and the doctors did. And I give them so much credit, because they were there when I was asked a lot of questions. You know, they were there when I was going through my highs and lows. They were there when I had to go, because I had to do surgery, I had to get a hysterectomy done. How you talking about nurses? I had 2 nurses that was with me all the way, just explaining so much of this, you know, every section, like, Barbara, this is going to happen after this, and you're going to need. It's so important to have that. So when you're missing that, that's gone, like you said, when there's a shortage, the patients suffer too. They suffer too. So that's why I just wanted you to kind of explain a little bit about that, especially in the cancer part of it.
Yeah, absolutely. You are right. Patient care definitely suffers from the shortage because you may have a nurse there, but that nurse is under so much pressure, right? So how do we provide quality care if we are stressed and burnt out? So that's why it's important that as a healthcare system, we develop support in the system and outside of the system for nurses because they are so important. And the reason I focus in on stress is because stress causes a shift in all aspects of our lives. And I know we're talking about nursing and we're talking about being in the hospital setting, but stress doesn't only happen there, right? We have our own personal stressors, right? That, compound what's going on in the hospital. So the model I use is really managing stress within yourself. It doesn't matter where you are, because that's only going to make you a better person, which then makes you a better nurse or healthcare leader or provider for the patient.
Yes, definitely. Now you have a mentoringship program. Can you tell a little bit, tell us about that?
Yeah, so I have the Nurse Wellness Mentorship. It is a 12-week program that I developed, and we're in our we have our fourth cohort right now going on. And it's a program where we meet every Wednesday. We have modules. We focus on really stress management, but really I want to call it personal development stress management, because it's really understanding who you are, who you want to be, and what we need to get you there. So I help nurses develop a personalized plan to get them to where they need to be so they can show up the way they want to be seen in the world.
Oh, that's nice. Oh, that's awesome. Because a lot of times, dealing with stress, like you said, stress, within the healthcare and then stress outside. So this is a huge thing. So I would say, just if I was coming to you, what would be like the first thing that I would need to do if I'm just like in that zone of just stress? I mean, period. What would be like the first step?
So the first step for you, or just in the program?
Just in the program, when somebody comes to there?
Yep. So the first step is identifying what your stresses are. So understanding that, because sometimes people don't even understand why they're stressed, because we haven't taken the time to slow down to really assess what is really stressing me out. That's the first step. The second step, which comes very close to that, is assessing gaps in your schedule. So I have my mentees look at their calendar, right, for the week. And many times we don't keep a calendar. We just go. It's all in our head. And really understand where can they create gaps for themselves. Because when you are in a program doing stress management, personal, professional development, you have to create the time and space for yourself. So I make sure that they intentionally do that. So make sure they put themselves literally on the calendar, and then we do the work. And I call them micro shifts. So it's not going to be a drastic shift in a week, but it's micro shifts. It's those micro adjustments you do to get to the macro goal.
Yes. I like that. And it's kind of like almost like accountability too. It's one thing to have it on your head. And I know this because I do it, which I'm stopping. I'll get better. And I'm writing it down. And I tell myself, okay, I need to do this, because sometimes when you see it on paper, it makes a big difference sometimes that it's all in your head, because that can stress you out just right there. It can. Yeah,
absolutely. And that's why I say journaling is very powerful. I know people like poo-poo journaling, or they roll their eyes, but journaling is so powerful. So I also run another group. Once a month we come together and we do a journaling circle. And I have to tell you, Barbara, every time I do this circle, and we go over the same prompts every month, but I have to tell you, every time I'm in this journaling circle, I get emotional, because things that you don't even know what you're feeling come out in writing, just writing to these prompts. I always amaze myself, but journaling is so powerful because it provides distance between what's in your head and yourself. You're able to kind of see it, right?
Yes.
You're putting it out and you're able to see it and create some distance, and then really assess how you're feeling about it. So writing is so powerful, and writing, pen and paper, not on the phone. Writing is very powerful.
Thank you, Wendy, for mentioning that. Not the but writing, you just hit a love that I love. A love that I love. That's funny. Is journaling. I love to journal. I would, please, and if I can be invited to your sessions, I would love to be there because journaling has helped me in so many ways. Stress, like with my stress, because I use that as a stress reliever. Is journaling and putting it down. And like you said, you never know what's coming out. I always tell, because some people, and I don't know if you noticed this when journaling, just a little bit off the cuff here, that some, I always tell people just write. And somebody, well, I got to make sure, well, what subject should I put, or what comma, or maybe I need to, then they go back and try to edit. I'm like, that's not journaling. That's you trying to do a book right now and trying to, no, journaling is just free for all, just throwing it all out there on the paper.
Yeah, and I tell people, make a list. Because many times you have just thoughts in your head, just make a list. You don't have to put bullets. You don't have to write, a narrative. Just make a list of what you're thinking. And then just look back at it. And it just creates so much distance. And it's like you're really dumping it from your head onto paper and you're lightening your load, your internal load. Yes. So it is very, very, very powerful.
Yes, awesome. Now, okay, now we have to go to, because you're, like I said, you're incredible. You're doing this movement. You created all these different other avenues where people can go to. And then on top of that, you are part of the Comeback Champ Conference. So give us just a little bit of how that arrived and what you're going to be basically speaking on to everybody.
Yeah, so I am so excited about the Comeback Champion Summit. So my topic is 5 steps to de-stress for success. Because stress, prevents us from being successful, prevents many things in our lives. But I look at success in my book, my definition of success is really being able to impact and influence the world, the people in the world. So if we are stressed, we can't do that. So I'm going to provide 5 steps for people to de-stress so they can be successful and amplify the impact they have on the lives in this world. And I am super excited about that.
Well, I don't want you to tell them about the, what you're going to talk about, because they have to come and hear it at the conference, at the Comeback Champ Conference. But thank you for giving us just a little bit of taste of that. And I love how you say impact and influence the world.
Yes.
Please make sure you trademark that for yourself. That was so good. I even wrote it down when you were talking. I said, ooh, impact is it. I said, let me put that. Per Wendy. So yeah, make sure you get the kudos for that, because that is powerful. That is powerful. And I'm loving how you're strategically, what you do is you're putting it into your talk, because it is so important. A lot of us are in this stress mode right now. I'm it's not just the good. I always tell people we got to talk about the good, bad, and ugly of life, because that's life. And it's a process that we go through. And I'm glad that you're bringing it up so we can say, okay, if you're stressed, let's see what we can do about that and manage it better and find that. And that's what you're doing.
Yeah. And, stress is very powerful. And it's very interesting because you can't see stress. You can't really feel it, but it exists, right? And it's powerful in the sense that it creates havoc on our bodies, mentally, physically. And I honestly call stress the new silent killer, because you can't see it, right? We used to say high blood pressure is a silent killer, but stress is really the silent killer. There was a study done a few years ago, and this was even before COVID, where over 100,000 people died from stress.
Ooh, wow.
Crazy, right?
100,000, yeah.
Over 100,000.
Over.
And it's something that we can manage. We have the ability and power to manage our stress.
Yeah.
And I truly believe that.
Yeah. Well, you're like I said, you're the movement of teaching us and letting us see that. Now, the thing, just a little bit before I go to something else that I would like for you to express, is that you mentioned before about, how when a person comes into your program or mentorship, that first you talk about, okay, what's stressing you out? Now, do you have challenges sometime with people where they're like, well, I'm just tired of being at my job. I mean, they kind of just, but you know that it might be deeper than that. Do you go deeper with them because you have to really hit that point? How do you handle that? Because I know some people will just be like, I'm just tired, or you know.
Yeah, I call it unpacking that statement. Yeah, so you really have to understand when people say things, there's always things under that, right? So let's unpack that. And you know what I like to do is, what role do you play in it? Is it something that you can control or something you can't control? So I think that's the first and foremost thing we need to really understand. Is it something you can control, something you can't control? Right? Because we can't control people. We can't control, you know, what our organization's doing. We can't control things that are going on, you know, in life, right? Life events, death, birth, all that things. What you can control is you. How you respond, how you think about things is what you can control. So we do a lot of unpacking to understand the real issue.
Yes, definitely. And I'm loving that. That's so good, Wendy. And like you said, if some things, and I always tell myself this is what helps me with my stress level, is I ask the question, can I control what's going on right now? Can I do, even if I can do 100% control or just maybe 10% control, what can I do? And if I can't, then I need to let this go and I need to deal with it, because it doesn't make sense to get all crazy and stressed over something that I don't have no control over.
Yeah, and that's the thing. That's where the support comes in, because I know it's very easy to say, let it go. But that takes practice, because we spend most of our lives not letting it go, right? We spend most of our lives trying to control it. So that's where the support, the accountability, and having a community comes in to help you work through that. Because it really is a change in your behavior, right? So we're trying to break habits and patterns that you have been, you know, indulging in for years. Right. So how do you break those patterns? Micro shifts to get you there.
Ooh, you're dropping some good nuggets this morning, Wendy. Micro shifts. I'm just writing my little notes here. So what I usually do before you know, we end the meeting and end our conversation is I'd like for you to give the listeners just like 30 seconds. I want to take myself down and I want you just to give whatever you want to, any lasting impression that you want them to have. So, and I'll be right back up.
Okay. So I want to end just by saying that we are all here on this earth. And I truly believe our purpose on this earth is to impact others, be the change. So stress is something that we all experience. It's hard for us to live our lives without stress, but it's how you manage it. I challenge you to find an outlet that can help you de-stress, even if it's journaling that Barbara and I talked about, but find something, because stress is something that you have the power to manage. And like I said, when you are stressed, it's hard for you to navigate this world. It's hard for you to have an impact. It's hard for you to be with your family. It's hard for you to be your best. So I hope that you take what you've learned here, implement it into your life so you can be your best and have a huge impact on this world, because we need you. We need you in any capacity. I don't care where you work, if it's in healthcare, if it's in media, if it's in health and wellness, if it's in finances, we need you. What you do is needed in this world. And if you're stressed, it's going to be hard for you to work at your highest level. So please, I challenge you to, one, understand what you're stressed about, two, see if it's something you can control or not control, and three, find an outlet. Find an outlet. And if you need help with that, I'm more than happy to help you with that. You can find me at stressblueprint.com. I'm there. I'm more than happy to have a call with you to help you make some micro shifts in your life. So whatever you need, I am there. I am very passionate about this because I have seen the I've seen the benefits of people managing their stress and walking in their purpose. And it's so gratifying. I had one nurse who had a 70% decrease in her stress level, 70% decrease in her stress level. I had another nurse who stopped seeing her therapist. I mean, and to see the look on their face, to see them in this world existing and showing up the way they want to be seen is so gratifying. Now those nurses can go out and touch and impact so many lives because they are walking in their purpose. And that is what I wish for you. I wish that you walk in your purpose and impact lives.
Well put, well put. I'm not saying nothing else because that did it right there. Thank you, Miss Queen Wendy, for coming on the Diamond Factor Spirit Show. You are always welcome to come back. I am here to be your cheerleader if you need to promote or just motivate and just be who you are. And you are definitely a force in nature in this world. So thank you so much, Wendy. Thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you for having me, Barbara.
And just to let everybody know, we will be back on Monday, 8 o'clock Central Time, 9 o'clock Eastern Time, all the other time zones. I always tell people, can you please figure that out? Because there's a lot. But those are the main two. And Wendy, again, we wish you so much prosperity, that you're dealing with everything that you're doing and just touching people's lives. And like I said, please trademark that, impact and influence the world, because that is just so powerful. And to remind everybody else to do that the same. So thank you, everybody. And Wendy, I will see you at the Comeback Champ conference.
Yes, you will.
You take care.
I'm hanging on your every word, the love inside, I feel it burn. I've never felt this way before. I've had a taste, now I want more. So here we are, just you and me. I'm overwhelmed when you touch me. You talk so sweet, I hear the sound, 'cause when you do, my feet won't touch the ground.
Woo! You can tell it's Friday because I'm starting to dance. So wonderful show today. Oh my God. First we had Tracy Brooks on, Mrs. Hightower, Mama Hightower. She paid it forward this morning, which, I'm loving the concept of what she did this morning, because we do need to pay it forward. We do need to help each other out, especially now. I'm not saying, there's certain times in life that you should continuously pay it forward. I try to do that within this show. I try to do that in my life, is what I can do to pay it forward for people. If it's not just, giving money, but just the time, just the effort to put you in that level so people can see and have you shine like a diamond, as I say, in the world. So that's another thing about paying it forward. There's other ways of doing it. Just don't always think of it's just the money. You can do it through a lot of other means, but we need each other. I keep saying that this world needs healing, and the only way how to get healed is we need to show the love. We need to bring the love back. We need to be there for each other in any capacity that we're in. See, one thing I tell people is that you don't know what a person's going through. So don't get so upset on why maybe they're not doing certain things, because you don't know. That's why you have to ask the questions. That's why you have to communicate with each other. So okay, this is where they're at right now in their life. And maybe they just need somebody to listen ear, or maybe they need a virtual hug. Or maybe they just need somebody to give them some information and they didn't want to ask. Sometimes we get in that mode of, I don't want to ask nobody because I don't want them to know what situation I'm going through. But how do you fix it if you don't ask the questions? I always tell people, no question is a dumb question. I hate when people say, you know what? I know this might be a dumb question. Ooh, that gets under my skin. Every time I hear that, when they say, I know this might be a dumb question. I'm like, no. It's funny because if I could say it, since if I'm in a workshop, I can't just yell out no. But usually if I'm teaching or coaching or just part of the whole community and they're saying this is a dumb question, I'm like, no, it's not a dumb question. because it's something that you didn't know and you need to know. That's why I tell people, if you need to know something, you ask the questions. I don't care what it is, you need to know. So when you find out, that's when you start to grow. Wow, you didn't know, you start to grow. Ryman didn't even realize it till now. So just please, like I said earlier, that understand first of all who you are. Understand how important and amazing you are. Okay. Then from that point, you need to broaden even more. Get with others. Remind them that, hey, I'm there. Let's do this together. Let's do this together. So we will be back talking about do this together. We will be back next Monday. Now, a lot of people are asking, well, Barbara, it's a holiday. Are you coming on that? Yes, yes, yes. This show, we really don't cancel for holidays. I try not to. I want to be consistent. I want to be there for you because it's about awareness, motivation, and educating. And that doesn't stop on a holiday. You need to be motivated on every day. You need to be educated when you can on every day. You need to know awareness of what's going on every day. So no, I really don't cancel a show unless it's just an emergency, some kind of technical thing. I mean, it has to be something, kind of big. But we will be here Monday on September 6th. We will have Regina Berman. She will be on as our leadership finance growing person, our expert. And then we will also have our new expert that started on Mondays, Rodney Burrs. Ooh, you have to come and listen to him. You talk about motivation of its highest. He will be coming and bringing the fire on Monday. And then I'll be here, as always, to be here and just direct you into the show. So again, thank you for coming. Thank you for tuning in. Tell others. I always say, tell others. Diamond Factor Experience Show with Barbara Beckley. We come on 5 days out the week, 8 o'clock through 9 o'clock Central Time, 9 to 10 Eastern Time, and all the other times I asked you to figure it out. But I wanted to give you the main ones because those are the main ones. And we will see you on Monday. You have a wonderful weekend, a wonderful holiday weekend. And again, tune into the Diamond Factor because just want you to have your diamond shine for others. Bye.